Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your host, Mr.BDA, and alongside with me as always, my co-host, the one, the only King, Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. We're going to try to stick to one subject today, but before we do so, before we get down to business, Bucho, you mind reading a couple of announcements?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Thank you, Patreon supporters, Apology Man, Brandon White, Chris Gonzalez, Greg, The Great Carl, Pete Stamas, and The Punisher. Let's see what else I have here. Don't forget to check out always the panelists' channels. Abstract has his own channel. Cameron, Recognize the Matrix, the one and only 100% X, El Dude, 3-Piece Boxing, and Jimmy DeMarino, who's on Twitter. You can check all of that out in the description. That's pretty much it, actually.
Don't forget
to use our Amazon affiliate link. You can help out the channel when you buy anything off on Amazon using our link. So we get a small commission. You don't have to pay extra or anything, but we do get a small commission, so that's going to help out BDA Boxing.
That's right. Don't forget to check out our Was Vladimir Klitschko boring video. My contention is that he was the most boring heavyweight the past 30 years. That's right, I said years. Also, don't forget you can download this podcast via Spreaker, iTunes. What's the other one? Google Play or?
Yeah. No, Google.
Right.
What's it called? Google Music or something? Play Music.
Right. Bucho, you're gonna have to smoothen this introduction out, man. You're gonna have to smoothen it out so that it's quicker, snappier, or
it was pretty quick, man.
Shut up! It wasn't. You gotta make it like Miguel Cotto would say, crispier, or with more explosivity, as Miguel Cotto would say. Explosivity.
So we should call the show Explosivity. Didn't we do that once?
Oh man. Anyway, listen. I want to thank Jonathan Williams, who's in the chat room. Shout out to Parmley, Jay Perez, Graham Lanson, Overhand, The Shepherd of Sons, Boxing Known, Rod T. Davies, also known as Rod Rook Davies. I'm working on that track, a little simple track, so he can lay some guitars. I'm telling you, Rod, he was playing guitar and banging groupies before we were even born. So if anybody knows about guitars and music, this is the guy. The Fox Strikes, shout out to him. The Quags, and many more people to come, I'm sure. Jonathan Williams. All right. Parmley asks, crispier? Yeah, who was it? That wasn't Cotto who used to say. That was
Emmanuel Stewart.
And Roy Jones, I think, in the last, I think in the Canelo Triple G fight rematch, he said crispier as well, I think.
Yeah, that's sad.
Crispier. All right, crispier, explosivity. What other there were also some other mistakes that people used to make. What was it? Crispier? Anyway, we'll figure it out. Today, Bucho and everybody else in the chat room, we're going to talk about Callum Smith versus George Groves, the final of the World Boxing Super Series. It's going to be taking place in Saudi Arabia. We're placed to hold a fight between two Brits, but hey, I guess since they couldn't hold the Gassiev Usyk final there, they decided to do it, to grab whatever they could. Now, some of you might be thinking, guys, why are you talking about this fight? Well, first of all, I think it's going to be a pretty entertaining fight. I think it might have a little skill, a little action, a little drama, action, drama, and excitement, as Nassim Hamed used to say. And also, I just realized, I saw, Bucho, you put in our Twitter page that this is actually going to be for the Ring Magazine Super Middleweight Championship.
Correct.
Because George Groves is considered the #1 guy, and Callum Smith is considered the #3. And so according to Ring Magazine's rules, they're eligible to be fighting for the vacant title, as you can see there on your screen. Now, my contention is that if George Groves were to win, which I think he's the favorite, we're going to get to that, even if he wins, I don't think he's the best super middleweight in the world. And this, listen, let me put up the rankings again. I tell you, super middleweight might not have a big name, There might not be a superstar in there, but it's a pretty solid division full of interesting fights. You got Rocky Fielding, you got Chris Eubank Jr., who can still be entertaining, Caleb Truax, who's always able to come up with some good fights, Anthony Durrell. He's still, you know, he's considered the lesser of the two brothers, but I actually think mentally he's stronger. He's got speed, he's got power, he can make things happen. James DeGale's still out there after beating Caleb Truax, getting revenge. Utsketegui, who is perhaps one of the most dangerous guys in the division. David Benavides, David Cokehead Benavides, who is still, you know, one of the most talented, perhaps physically talented. Callum Smith, pretty tall for his division. Gilberto Ramirez as well. I don't know why Ramirez is number 2. And then you got George Groves, who's seen it all. He's a veteran. So again, this division, pretty interesting. We're going to talk about what's going to happen in that fight, a little preview, what happens for the winner, what happens for the loser, what's the biggest money fight out there for both guys or for either guy, and much more to come. Before we continue, I do want to introduce who's in the chat, who's in the Hangout, Bucho? Is that Stu? Stu, all right.
I wasn't bad, though.
I told you what's going to happen to the price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
All right, Stu, are you there?
What's happening, boys?
Well, good to have you on board. We're having a nice day here in Canada. One of the last hot days we're going to get. How about you? How's it going over there in the UK?
Yeah, we had a nice day here ourselves. Lovely, hot, sunny day it was. But yeah, not too bad. Life goes on, doesn't it? Life goes on no matter the weather.
A good day for Stu is when it's warm and when there's not that many minorities around. That's a good day for Stu right there, isn't it?
A good time. You cut out. A good day for what?
I said a good day for you is when it's warm and there's not that many minorities around you.
Perfect.
Hey, he doesn't deny it. All right, listen. We were talking about how this is a special episode dedicated to the final of the WBSS Super Middleweight tournament between George Groves and Callum Smith. What do you think? I mean, is it worth it that we're investing one episode in this fight? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely worth it. I mean, we've talked about a lot worse fights than this, haven't we? Let's be real. We've talked about some right garbage. So, yeah.
Well, listen, you're from the UK. Give us the rundown. What are people saying over there about this fight?
It's gone under the radar. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
no one's talking about it. That's the scary thing. I mean, it's a good fight between two solid super middleweights, as you know, for the tournament as well. And it's barely even spoke about. I think this is the problem Sauerland's got. I just don't think his promotion in the UK is not the greatest. Let's be real. He should have been building this fight. I mean, he uses Kugan Cassius for his adverts. That's about it. But you know, you've just seen nothing about this fight anywhere.
Now, who's televising this?
It's on Box Office, ITV Box.
Okay, ITV, not bad. They're the ones that showed Groves versus Eubank too, right?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to stream it. I mean, I just paid for Joshua. I mean, there's only so much I could spend on boxing every fucking month. Do you know what I mean? I have to start picking and choosing now. I know a good streamer I can use, but I do prefer to watch it on the telly. But I can't keep spending. I mean, Groves, Callum Smith in Saudi Arabia. I mean, is that really a pay-per-view fight? I don't know.
That's the UK for you. Now, listen. Before we continue, we got to tell people out there that Stu he doesn't intend to stream a fight. He's just saying that to make a point about how this fight doesn't deserve to be on pay-per-view. But of course, Stu doesn't pirate fights, right, Stu? It was just a form of speech.
No. Yeah, I mean, definitely not. I was talking about an app I've got. I mean, the Zone app. I was talking about streaming it from there.
That's right. See, Stu is legitimate. He doesn't have a farm full of pigs. He doesn't feed dead bodies to the pigs. I mean, he's a legit guy. All right, so forget about the rumors you've heard about him. Now, look. I mean, I gotta say, first of all, who promotes George Groves? Is it still David Hay, or did that stop a long time?
It's Sauerland, Callie
Sauerland. Okay,
Go
so
ahead. I'm joking.
Yeah.
all right, so then that means I can see then why that this fight isn't really being promoted all that great. And again, that's why I was saying, other than us hardcore fans, we don't really, there's not that much interest in this fight, but it could prove to be a very interesting fight. Now, let me ask you this, guys. Does George Groves deserve to be the best or the number one guy in the division right now? And even if he does beat Callum Smith, is there anybody that you would favor against him? From the
George
top 10?
Groves?
Yes.
I mean, George Groves is a sort of fighter that could win any night on any night and get beat on any night. So
right.
Groves is not the sort of guy that you want to bet your house on to win. Just something you never know what Groves you're going to get, and he's experience is getting him through a lot of these fights. He's been in some big fights, and I think the experience is doing him well. I mean, he's had some good wins lately. I think he's slowed down a lot. He hasn't got that sharpness in his punches. When he fought Froch the first time, I mean, the snap in his punches and the accuracy. I think a lot of that's gone. But I just think he's a lot wiser now, and I think he's picking his shots better because he runs out of steam. Groves, he struggles with his stamina, but I think he deserves to be number one right now. The Middle East setting the world alight, are they?
Right. Well, listen, I know some people might look at this and say, whoa, if George Groves is the number one guy in this division, then that means the division must suck. But I look at it differently. I look at it as George Groves is the number one guy because everybody else is just getting started. And by everybody else, I'm talking about Gilberto Ramirez, who still hasn't fought anybody of note.
I mean, it just started. I mean, fuck me, when did he start? 10 years ago?
That's right,
He's been around since time began, and what's happening with his career?
You're talking about Uzcategui or, Ramirez? Or?
No, I'm on about Ramirez.
Oh, yeah. Ramirez. Listen, we've talked about it in the podcast before about how it just seems here, they're waiting for the right opportunity. And since he's Mexican, they think they can milk him until a big one comes. Listen, Antonio Margarito, nobody wanted to fight him. And it took him a long time before he finally got that Miguel Cotto's super fight. But Ramirez he's already 27. For a guy like him, with his style, that can be pretty old. You know what I mean? A slugger like that, they tend to get old pretty quick.
I mean, when you look at Groves' resume, I mean, there's not much better in that division. You talk of 2 fights with Froch, a DeGal win. He's fought Chris Eubank Jr. He's fought some good names. He's fought Badu Jack.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't get better than that in the super middleweight division for a resume. So I think we have to give Groves his credit. I mean, he's come back. It took him 3 world title fights before he fucking won one. Or no, he won the 4th. I think he lost 3 world title fights before we won. You got to take your hat off to him. He kept bouncing back, and he's a better fighter for it. I think he's lost his athleticism. I just think he's got a better boxing brain now.
Absolutely. He's seen it all. He's lost in the worst way possible, by getting knocked out cold against Froch. He almost beat Froch in the first fight, save for that disgusting stoppage. He should have. I thought the fight against Badu Jack could have gone either way.
Well, I had Groves winning it by 1 point.
Really? I think you'd mentioned that before.
Yeah. So it's not like it's only the Froch defeat is where you can say it was a devastating loss, but he was winning that fight before he got knocked out. So he's not really. You've not seen anyone really dominate. And let's be real, when he fought Badu Jack and Froch in the second, he had the worst trainer ever to walk into a boxing gym. I mean, Paddy McShamus, whatever his fucking name is, Paddy Fitzpatrick. I mean, terrible, absolutely terrible. He was that bad. Even George Groves fucked him. Do you know what I mean? He set George Groves back a few years. He did. Let's be real. So, but yeah, there's no really. I mean, there's a devastating loss to Froch, and then that's it. The rest have been. The other defeats was a dodgy refereeing by Howard Foster in the first, and a fight that could have gone either way in Badu Jack. So.
And let's not forget, he did pretty well against Chris Eubank Jr., whom everybody thought was going to be this next big superstar. I mean, we talked about it before. ITV was pushing hard for Chris Eubank. So, I mean, George Groves, he's seen it all. He's seen it all. He's fought tough, undefeated people. He's fought veterans. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's fought some good guys, man. And I'd have liked to seen Groves stay with Adam Booth. I thought Groves was starting to look like a middleweight version of David Haye, and I like the way Groves fought. He was starting to look really explosive, and David Haye. When Adam Booth left, he went with Fitzpatrick, and his style went down a fucking drain. He become really sloppy, and I mean, let's be real. Even at his worst, he still could have beat Badu Jack. So this guy's not a bum.
Absolutely not. He's a veteran. At this point, he's 30 years old. He's a veteran, and when it comes to competition, he's definitely got the edge over young Callum Smith, who's not that young himself. I mean, the guy's 30. I mean, 28. To me, that's 30 right there. And you look at Callum Smith, 24-0, 17 knockouts, decent knockout percentage. But then you look at who he's fought, mostly European guys. His last 3 fights, Nicky Holsken, or I don't know if that's how you say his name, Nieki, who's actually a kickboxer, 13-0. Eric Skoglund, undefeated, but again, another domestic level type fighter. And Luke Blackledge. That sounds like the name of some superhero or a character in a comic book. But I've seen him fight. We've all seen him fight. He's 6 foot.
I remember watching that fight.
Yeah. You remember watching that? Okay, well, we'll get to that. But what I'm trying to get at here is that he's 6'3", so he's got a good 3 inches on, or even maybe 4, depending on whether they're telling the truth about his height, on George Groves. And so that could prove to be a stylistic nightmare for George Groves. And by the way, before we continue, Bucho, we should tell people that we're not going to be here until fucking 11 o'clock. So we're keeping it short today. So if you want to jump on board and talk about this monumental Saudi Arabian event, you better get your asses in here, or else we're going to just trudge through it, man. You know what I mean? But listen, Callum Smith Jr., I think, Stu, I think you were saying that after the fight happened between him and Holsken, that, you know, he struggled against a kickboxer. But that Nicky Holsken, I've seen him sparring, and again, he's got a lot of kickboxing experience. So it's not, I don't see it as that much of a negative that Callum Smith struggled a little bit with him.
The thing with Callum Smith, the guy's just...
No, you're cutting off there.
No better. Yeah, I know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
The thing with Callum Smith, he hasn't moved forward. He's still the same fight he was through. He's not improved one bit. If not, he's got worse. I mean, Joe Gallagher, dreadful. And that's the sort of guy who fucking, you give him a diamond and he'll find a way to turn it into a fucking stone. I mean,
all right, so it's kind of clear you dislike the guy, but
shit, fucking shit. He teaches his fighters. I mean, who in their right mind goes along with a game plan? Yeah, lose the first 7 rounds and come on strong in the last 5. I mean, fuck's sake. I mean, I'm no fucking mathematician, but that don't add up to me if you don't get the KO.
Right.
You know, he's leaving his fighters with no room for error. You can't be throwing away the first wait for a lot of these guys tired. So, I mean, look at the Scott Quigg Frampton tactics. Terrible. Scott Quigg was fucking dreadful that night. That was all down to Gallagher. I've seen it time and time again, Gallagher with his wrong tactics. So he's not moved Callum Smith forward one bit. Callum Smith should have got rid of this guy a long time ago. But here we are.
There you have it. There you have it. Stu isn't afraid to hold back against trainers and tell us what he thinks about their shortcomings. Here's the thing, though. If George Groves were to struggle against Callum Smith, is that a detriment to Groves, or is that a plus for Callum Smith Jr.?
Callum Smith is a decent fighter. He's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. This ain't going to be a blowout. People are saying about 5 rounds, Groves is going to KO him in the chat. That ain't happening. This he's a good fighter. He just hasn't improved.
Right.
Lost. I mean, he was blowing everyone away when he first came through as a youngster, knocking people clean out, hitting body shots, and they were fucking crying all over. And just his power. I don't know where he's stepping up. Still like he's fighting the top 10 guys all the time, is it? You know, he still should be getting these guys out of there. He should have destroyed that kickbox. I don't care how good he is in sparring. Do you know what I mean?
Telling you,
kicks.
it's like Sergey Lipinets, man. It's like Sergey Lipinets. Yeah, he was a kickboxer and he didn't have that many fights, but he's gosh darn tough, let me tell you. So
yeah,
I mean,
I'm not saying because Vitaly Klitschko used to be a kickboxer, and we all know what he went on to do. So I'm not saying kickboxers can't fight, but Callum Smith should have been comfortable. This is no Vitaly Klitschko we're talking about here, is it?
No, obviously he's not. So yeah, he's not Vitaly Klitschko. But come on, I mean, the guy. Listen, what I'm trying to get at is, if Callum Smith comes in prepared and he comes in shape, he's 6'3". He does have a pretty good long jab, so you could make things happen, man.
He's dangerous. He'd win this fight. Actually, the Gallagher game plan could come in handy for once in his fucking career, because Groves has actually got a piss poor tank. So if you can soak quite a shot steam. He doesn't throw shot, you know, where some people throw a few jabs away to land a right. He doesn't do any of that. Everything's just loading up, even the jabs. He's swinging from the fucking hips, and that's why he runs out of steam quick. So I think the Joe Gallagher game plan could work, but it means Callum Smith's going to have to get the stoppage. So
you're saying
you should restart your internet because it's fucking up, man. So if you could restart it, maybe.
Yeah, you know, do I? I'll do it.
Yeah,
now.
you're cutting off. You're cutting off.
Yeah.
Maybe like Bucho said, restart your internet and keep it up. Man.
It's since they've changed. My computer's changed its from Google to Bing, and since it's been on Bing, I've been getting a shit signal. But I don't know how to change the thing back. So,
man, you change computers more often than Amir Khan changes trainers.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll go and sort the internet out.
Yeah,
how long has it been cutting out for that?
It's been cutting off a little bit. Listen.
Yeah.
Get that sorted out, if you will. We'll keep shitting on Joe Gallagher in a couple of minutes. Before we continue, we do have Recognize the Matrix on the line.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
All right. Recognize you there.
What's going on, people?
Good to have you on board. As you can see, we're going to be talking about the Callum Smith versus George Groves fight. All right, listen, what are your thoughts on the super middleweight division?
It's kind of good. I mean, it's not as good as 175. Maybe not as good as 160. But they got some talent there. I like who's got to get who else? I like obviously I like Groves. Benavidez could be good. What else? Ramirez. Well, no, I don't really like Ramirez, but yeah, I mean it's all right. It's not bad.
Listen, it's like the 140-pound division we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Remember we were talking about how it was going to start restructuring itself? And look at it now. They got a tournament going, and it's one of the most interesting divisions out there. It's the same thing with 168. There's a lot of potential there. All that needs to happen is for the top guys to start fighting each other. And this tournament final is going to take us a little closer to that.
It's like 175. Can you imagine if they all start fighting each other? I mean, I know there's been some fights, but if it gets, consistent,
right?
170, it's not as good as 175, obviously. But
well, now see, that's the thing. All they need to do is start fighting each other. Now, the problem with that is that the promotions. I mean, everybody's with a different promoter. You got guys from England. You got guys with the PBC. You got guys with Top Rank. Eventually, somebody's gonna fucking sign with the Zone or something. So that's gonna put a little strain between them and ITV and Sky. I mean, I don't know, but what I'm saying is, you got two young up and coming guys, Uskatewi, Benavidez, very very tough. You got veterans like Groves and DeGale. You got Chris Eubank Jr., who's also going to be fighting this Saturday against some Irish guy that I'm sorry to say. On the one hand, I'm conflicted because I don't like Chris Eubank all that much. But then again, I don't like Irish people either. Even though he's from Northern Ireland, I think, the guy he's fighting. No, but I mean, because come on, the Irish people, they come here. I've said it before. They come in to the country begging for a bowl of soup. They don't, they want to take away all the jobs. I don't like them. Sorry. I know that makes me. I don't know if that makes me a bad person. The point is this.
You're a bad person, BDA.
Recognize, you better watch it, man. No, wait a minute. Yeah, this guy, JJ McDonough, he's going to be fighting Chris Eubank Jr. in the undercard. Look at this guy. He's just begging for Chris Eubank to plant one of those uppercuts in his solar plexus. 16. I mean, why is?
Hey.
Yeah.
What is that fucking noise, man?
Yeah, I hear something.
It's recognized, man. It's the background thing with recognize.
What do you hear?
Yeah, I think it's
like a buzzing sound. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a hissing.
How about now? Still here?
Still cool.
Are you in the basement?
It's a little bit better, but I was just going to say, if there's a fucking bum around, Chris Eubank Jr. will find him. You know what I mean?
It's true. That's what I was going to say. Why is he fighting this guy? He's already fought George Groves. He should be taking on at least a top 15 guy. I mean, JJ McDonough, I mean, all due respect to the guy. I know boxing is a tough sport, but this guy's a local. This is the type of guy. Listen, he lost. I'm looking at his record. He lost against Chilien Hippolyte, who's a former prospect from Canada, and who isn't even really that good either. He's not world class, and he lost to the guy. So, I mean, come on, what's going on here?
Did he get knocked out by the guy?
Oh yeah, he's gonna. No, well, against Hippolyte, he lost a unanimous decision. He's never been stopped, apparently. Oh no, yeah, he has.
Eubank will beat this guy, and then you get these fucking weirdo fanboys from the UK going, Eubank Jr.'s back. He just, he just didn't listen to his trainer last time. This time he's going to listen to him. Fuck up. The guy, he's just not going. He's not at world level. Anyone a bit.
How about some of the fanboys that actually thought he won the fight?
What?
Yeah, yeah, have you heard him?
No.
Oh, they're almost as bad as the ones that had him beating Saunders.
Is Eubank the Chavez Jr. of the UK?
He's almost there.
Yeah, you could say that.
He's almost there.
I think he's a bit more dedicated than Chavez. Though.
Exactly.
He goes to the gym and train.
Right. At least the kid works out. Like he's a beast in the gym.
Isn't that even worse? Because he's training and he actually sucks.
Well, he doesn't suck. Come on, come on. I think we're being a little too. You gotta listen.
Go ahead, Bucho. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the problem with him is discipline in the ring. It seems to me that like he trains good. I've seen some. The training clips that I've seen of him, it looked good. But and like you said, he's in great shape too. He's got the six packs, he's got the muscles and all that, and he's in good shape. But to me, what I see is the discipline. The discipline in the ring it's not there.
Nah, I mean the thing is with Eubank Jr., the guy very very limited what he knows in the boxing ring. Yet won't listen to anyone. So anyone that tries to tell him anything just don't want to listen. And this guy needs to go down to middleweight. He's not big enough for super middleweight. George Groves looked massive in that compared to him. He's not big enough. And the middleweight division, there's better fights for him. It's actually a better division. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, he could get fights with guys like Triple G and Canelo. I mean, makes
Charlo. I'd love to see him fight Charlo. I would. I think that'd be a great fight.
I'd love to see that fight. Yep, me too.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? First of all, there's a guy in the chat room. His name is John Ku Cheng. Is better than Finito Lopez. You know that's a fucking hardcore fan right there when that's his name. John Ku Cheng is better than Finito Lopez. Second of all, food for thought here. Food for thought. Yes, Chris Eubank lost against Billy Joe Saunders. Yes, he lost against Groves. But consider this. When he got on the inside against both guys, they held on for dear life. Chris Eubank is pretty good on the inside. He has trouble getting on the inside. But when he's there, those uppercuts, watch out, man.
That's what I mean, the discipline, man. If he was a fucking just, know how to, throw a jab going in. I mean, that should be, you know, maybe it's easier said than done when you fight in certain fighters. I don't know, but just to me, it seems like he doesn't do. He just lunges in there. It's like I'm just gonna lunge in there. I'm just gonna use my strength. It might work for certain fighters, but you know, when you find the elite level fighters, that's not gonna work.
By the way, hold on, Stu. Just before, people in the chat are saying that they still hear that noise, and I still hear that noise. So recognize. I don't know where you are, but
I know what it is. I'm in my office. It's the air conditioner.
Somebody said Parmsley in the chat. Parmsley in the chat. Parmsley in the chat room says that it sounds like you're deflating your sextol.
Yeah.
It sounds like
I turned it off.
All right, perfect. All right, sorry, Stu, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Eubank Jr., he's trigger happy with that uppercut. He throws 6 of them in a row like they're all going to land. I mean, when you throw an uppercut, you leave yourself wide out to hooks, and you know, so.
And he don't set them up.
He doesn't set them up. He lunges in with them, and then he follows up with another 3 or 4 and. They're hitting on the top of the forehead, half of them, the hardest part of your head. It's not like any of them are landing on the chin. So I think if he chose, don't get me wrong, when he picks his moments with the uppercuts, when he's counter punching someone and comes in with an uppercut, it looks nice and it does a lot of damage. But when he's coming forward, just throwing 4 or 5 uppercuts one after another, mate, he's covered up and he's blocking 4 of them. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Can you imagine him doing that shit to Canelo? He'll get fucking. Yes.
Yeah, he'd get murdered.
Off, man. Yeah.
I actually think Eubank would break his hand over Canelo's big ass head. I don't think his hands could take it.
It's a good chance. There's a very good chance.
Very good chance. But listen, stepping away
those
from
massive forearms that fucking Canelo has, he'd probably break his hands hitting that.
Maybe, yeah. You never know. I mean, he does seem. Listen, you know from experience. Those uppercuts, if you don't throw them properly, you can hit some fucking elbows.
Yeah, the thing is, set it up. I mean, unless the fucking guy's just a wide open bum, yeah, I maybe I could see that. Even then, I would still, you know, try to set that up just in case. But he doesn't do that. It's like Stu says, he's just fucking lunging in there. He's lunging in, throwing uppercuts. I've seen him do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, nobody's ever made him pay for that.
No. Prince Nassim Hamid used to do that, but he used to knock people out with them. That was the difference.
Exactly, that's the difference. I mean, it was like it was almost like a fucking guided missile. What Nassim to do. Yeah, he did. It just always seemed to hit its target. You know.
Yeah, he had a good precision when he used to train.
The amount of fights that uppercuts won him. It got him out of trouble, man. With big uppercut, and the next minute the fight's over.
Fucking fights, yeah.
Well, listen. Here's my question. Because we're talking about Eubank and Smith and whether that fight even deserves a podcast, but for itself. But it does beg the question: where does the winner go from here? Because let's think about it for a second. Chris Eubank wins. All right. I mean, Chris Eubank. George Groves wins this fight. If he wants to make the most money possible, who should he fight in this division?
The most money possible in the division?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Are you on about Eubank?
I mean, no, Groves. If he wins the tournament.
If Groves wins this tournament, who's the big money fight in the division?
That's right.
Ramirez, man. He's a Mexican.
I was just thinking.
But Ramirez has you think he'll get, I don't know.
To be honest with you, I think Groves would have the fight at home, whoever it's against. I don't see any A sides against Groves because Groves is quite a big name in the UK.
If I was
what if he rematches? What the hell was that? I heard it. If a rematch with Eubank, would that work?
I don't mean anyone's like. Let's be real. I mean, I just don't think anyone's calling for that fight. I don't think it was that close. Do you?
No, I don't. But I mean, they can build it up or something. I'm just trying to play a promoter here. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, fucking Eddie Hearn would have to be on his top form to try and sell that. Again.
You know, if I was Groves, if the fight that I'd be trying to go after, if I was Groves, win this tournament, call out Triple G.
Huh?
Yeah, why not? Just give it a shot. Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Triple G's not interested. That's it.
Well, the worst that could happen is he gets fucked up by Triple G.
Well, I mean, look, yeah, of course, you get the worst. I agree with you, BDA. The worst that could happen is he gets in there and he gets knocked out. If that happen, if that fight was to happen, but you got to, in order for that fight to happen, and I'm not too sure he would definitely beat Groves. I would pick him to beat him, but
hey, go. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say.
I'd say the biggest money.
was interrupting recognize. What about Callum fresh out of retirement? He comes out of retirement, fights Groves.
No. James DeGale rematch would probably be the biggest money fight for him.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. James DeGale.
John Koo Chang is better than Finito Lopez. He's saying Groves DeGale 2 or Groves versus Jack 2. But Jack is at light heavyweight, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's not a big name.
Jack's too big. Jack's too far.
But he's not a big name.
I'm shooting for the DeGale rematch. That's a big money fight. Or I'm calling out Triple G.
That's a good... Yeah, the Triple G, I hadn't even thought about it. Chris Eubank and James DeGale...
He doesn't have no belts anymore, so he has no obligations.
Exactly. And Triple G's contract with HBO ended, right? In his last fight?
I think... was it his or Canelo's? I
think it was both.
Both of them,
That's what Jimmy said, yeah. So Triple G might just go on over and do him and the Zone, do some sort of like co-promotional deal. Or maybe whoever with, Sunderland. Yeah. And they get a DeGale fight going. I mean, a Groves fight going. Now, listen.
I think Golovkin's making decent money with HBO, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, I'm sure he is, but who knows? Like, give it. Look, I think Golovkin has shown that if you offer him, a nice amount of money, he'll go to the UK and fight Groves. I would give it a shot. Maybe it doesn't work out, right? Like, the HBO contract might be renewed. It might be more money, unless Groves is willing to, make that fight and go on HBO and have the fight or whatever. They can work out some type of deal. If I'm Groves, I'm trying it. I'm giving it a shot.
Yeah, why not? That is potential. I mean, can you believe in England? First of all, the fight should take place in England. Groves versus Triple G, and because listen, the UK, they know their boxing. They've already had Triple G in there when he fought Kell Brook. So that makes sense. That's a good fight right there, big money fight. And like Bucho said, if Chris Eubank beats up a couple of more bums, they could make a rematch between him and Groves down the line. Or James DeGale. There's already history there as well. DeGale has a title, I believe. Why not? All right, now here's the thing. Callum Smith Jr. Let's say he wins. Now, let's say he wins competitive fight, but it's clear that he's the winner by decision. That means he's a big new name in the division. Like I said, he's 6'3". Do you favor him against Chris Eubank Jr.? You think he cannot box him from the outside?
I say he has a shot, but I would probably go with Eubank.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I would go with Eubank, yeah.
You like Eubank, don't you?
No, I don't like him.
Yeah, you just admit it, man. It's okay.
No, I'm saying
I like his father.
You like his style. You like his style, like you.
Do you follow the Warrior Code?
The fuck is that?
The father is the Warrior Code.
Yeah, what was it? The Warriors Code or something? His father had this.
Yeah.
You should do like a video about it. How to live the life of a warrior.
Yeah, he did. He explained it so gay, but anyway.
The fuck?
But as a fighter, man, I mean, Eubank Senior was just exciting and he's better. He's definitely better than his son for sure. No, I'm not a Eubank fan, but I'm saying like I would give Eubank a chance to beat Callum Smith. I would pick him.
All right, well there you go. So you do think that he's got a good skills, like I said.
Decent. He could be better than what he is.
All right, sorry to interrupt you there, Recognize, but Nino Gaggi in the chat room is saying that Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. was overrated.
I jacked off in a tissue.
No.
You got some balls, kid. I'll give you that much.
Let me tell you something.
Balls, kiddo.
I mean, come on, overrated? Because he fought, he did fight a couple of bums, but that's because he was fighting 5 times, 6 times a year. Come on, he could be fighting.
You could say anybody's overrated. I'm okay with it. Don't talk about Don't talk about my Chavez Senior like that.
But that's right. Don't talk about his. Recognize is an honorary Mexican, and he respects Chavez. So, you know.
Can we accept Puerto Ricans? No.
That was the only Mexican I used to root against Puerto Rican fighters.
Well, there you go.
And I caught a lot of heat for that. So. But
didn't you say you were such a big Camacho fan back in the day that you used to dress like Hector Camacho, you know, with the cut off shirt and everything?
I thought he was just funny. I was never like a fan of his. I mean, he was always Chavez's rival. So, but he was funny as hell, man.
Well, listen,
with those flashy shorts he would wear, and how he would brag about himself. I'm a handsome guy.
Yeah, he used to say the N-word as well.
Yeah, he would say it all the time.
He was nuts.
We should have a debate on whether or not he was allowed to use the N-word.
Well, in New York, Puerto Ricans use it all the time.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, what was there a debate to begin with? You know. But
I mean, we call each other that. We're like, bitch ass nigga, what you looking at?
I think everybody should be allowed to use the N-word. Take the power. No, yeah, sure, seriously, take the power out of it. Because if you keep using, if everybody's afraid of it, then you're giving it power. But if everybody says it, just to describe anything, like, hey, how was a sandwich? Oh, it was N.
I think nobody should use it. So.
Are you crazy?
Everybody should use it. I think it's fine. You could call me a spick. I don't even care.
Well, that's what we do.
People are sensitive and stuff. Like, I don't care, but it's just words, right? But some people say,
it's just words.
Yeah.
But by the way, so we got that on record. We can recognize a spick. So.
Spick. Yeah, you call me
X already does, man. X already does.
Yeah, you know, X.
Yeah, that's right, man.
He means it out of love, I think.
And nobody accuses him of racism.
The little fucking spick bastard.
All right, listen. We got Cameron on the line.
Fuck, mate, it's life, man. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Because everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
There you go. And by the way,
speaking of Axios, Cameron's brother. I mean, Axios Cameron.
Apology, following me on Twitter today, and I was tweeting Devin Alexander earlier on. I was having a bit of banter with him. I was basically saying, "Bro, you're going to take over the welterweight division again." He thought I was being serious, and so he replied to that. And then I said to I went to Devin. I went, "By the way, my brother," and I tagged apology saying he thinks it's wrong that I eat ass over pussy. And it was quite funny, to be fair. Devin Alexander was getting involved in stuff. So,
all right, am I the only one that didn't understand a single thing you said? Am I the only one that didn't understand?
Devin Alexander's got a track record of putting out some pretty heavy tweets when it comes to ass. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So he eats ass. That's what you're saying.
There's nothing wrong with that.
He said something like it's wrong to fuck an ass. That's what he said. But anyway, that's not even the point of the topic. I just wanted to bring that up.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So
it's good to know. It's good to know Devin Alexander has standards.
That's why I like Devin Alexander. You know what I mean? Like, I thought he beat Berto. So
Cameron has a list. Cameron has a list of all the celebrities that have admitted to eating ass. So if he meets them one day, they can party. Like, that's his fantasy, that he can go up to Robert De Niro one day and say, "Hey, listen, oh, you like eating ass? So do I. Let's party. You know, let's go get a couple of hookers, a couple of black hookers, and let's eat their asses."
Must be a fan of Al Pacino.
Oh, Al Pacino, of course, yes.
Al Pacino loves ass.
What's actually
woman's ass? Woman's ass. Something comes out of me. She got a great ass, and you got your head all the way up it.
All right, thanks, Recognize, for setting me up, setting the setup for that one.
That's what's it called? Stevenson Grodstick is probably going to be the co-main to Fury Wilder. That's pretty good, that.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, man, that's what's been going around on Twitter today. Stevenson Grodstick's going to be the co-main on that.
No kidding, wow.
That's good.
But wait a minute. They okay, so Stevenson. So that fight would take place in Vegas. Is that what they decided?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've seen on Twitter by a few reporters. But Stevenson put out that he'll be fighting Grodstick on the same night as Fury Wilder, and then a few other reporters have said it's going to be on the same card. So, I mean,
Well,
it makes sense, right? I mean, if you've got Fury Wilder fighting at the same time as Stevenson Grosdick, who's going to watch Stevenson Grosdick over
That's
that?
right. That's a good fucking point. What the fuck? But listen, hey, talk about getting your money's worth.
Somebody's
Stu was
saying,
talking-
Yung Chang,
Okay, what?
Yung Ku Chang is better than Finito Lopez says. No, it's in Quebec City.
No,
I don't
what?
know.
Quebec
Listen.
City?
He's
That's what
saying
he's saying.
he's saying
That's
Vosdick
bad,
and
though.
Stevenson.
Yeah, but who's going to watch that when Fury Wilder's on at the same time?
Exactly.
No one.
Well-
Canadians and
Also, did
Quebec
anybody
probably
see?
watch it.
I mean, I think El Dude hopefully doesn't come on the show, but Victor Ortiz has been charged with rape. Did anyone see
Now
that?
wait
I
a
heard
minute.
Oh
that.
yeah.
Wait a
I
minute.
heard
Wait a
about
minute.
it
First
too.
of all,
That's
why
quite
did you
funny,
have? Why did you have to throw El Dude under the bus before saying that?
Wait a second, guys. Wait a second, guys.
El
Dude just sent me a message, and it goes something like this: Hey, recognize. I just want you to know that there's rumors going around that Victor Ortiz raped this girl. I just want you to know that it's bullshit. You know.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good. That's a
That's
pretty
my
good
brother, El
impression. man.
Dude. I hope he doesn't mind me making it.
El Dude,
Nah, he
El
doesn't
Dude's
care.
blaming the woman. El Dude's blaming the woman for taking the taking the right down the road that she got raped on.
Are we gonna have like an O.J. Simpson trial here? You know, all the Mexicans are like defending Ortiz.
El Dude, man.
Yeah, but
Love
she,
that guy.
Him and Apology are the only ones that are defending Victor
Apology,
Ortiz.
Joe. Apology's just as bad on Twitter as he is on here. Like he tweeted somebody back earlier on talking about how women take advantage of blokes and
Exactly,
Apology
yeah.
does make me laugh.
And that's
I don't know the details of the story, but I just know that Ortiz didn't do it.
Oh, come on now. I mean, he's been charged for 3 different felonies, including rape.
whoa.
Well, Cameron, let me explain something to you, Cameron. What you have to understand is that Victor Ortiz could have not possibly.
This is actually, hold on. We have special audio of what Victor Ortiz was saying while he was fucking the girl. This is exclusive BDA audio, by the way.
Tame the cunt! Because it is a game, guys. You want to think it's not.
I mean, who the fuck says that while he's... And Apology, he left us a message because I asked him, hey, the girl, the identity of the girl that the victim or the alleged victim already came out. And this is what Apology asks me.
Fucking twat. Didn't you fuck her once?
Like, he thinks he's accusing her of being a fucking whore that's, been going around getting ass fucked. And I don't agree with that. I don't think we should be... Listen, let's get the facts first. Let's see what happens. Let's hear Victor Ortiz's defense, if he even has one. Let's see what
Listen,
this...
we live in a different, and I know that we got to be careful what we say on YouTube, but we live in a different world today where they're trying to change the standards of rape and sexual harassment. They're trying to change it. That's the way I see it. When you hear things like "just believe the victim,"
Right.
or I care about the survivors, and I get that. I care about survivors too. If it really happened, right? If somebody was really raped or sexually harassed or whatever the case may be, but you can't. There is a movement, and there's something to what guys like Apology are saying. Now, I don't think they should go too extreme in that MGTOW and all that, but there's something to that. Where a girl today can just make a simple allegation, and you're the one that has to prove that it wasn't true. She doesn't have to prove that it's true. It's you that has to disprove that.
Exactly.
That could be very dangerous.
Yeah,
Should she get
nowadays...
Robert Shapiro to be the lawyer?
Joe,
Robert Shapiro.
Yeah, you're obsessed with the
Anybody
fucking
with
OJ trial.
Shapiro might work out.
Joe, I'm with you. Like, innocent until proven guilty and all that. Like, what I mean? Ortiz might be getting stitched up. You just don't know. But at the same time, he might have legit done it. But who knows, man?
I mean, it's like Recognize was saying. It's nowadays when it comes to rape accusations, it's guilty until proven innocent. The opposite of what it should be.
Well, here's the thing: they're talking about in the media, at least over here in America, and I don't know about Canada or in the UK, but they actually the way they don't say standard. We're trying to change the standard of what the meaning of rape is, but
right.
They're trying to insinuate that, you know, a woman, for a man to make an advance at a woman and she's not interested in him, well, that can fall into sexual harassment. Can you imagine that? Like you're interested in a girl, you're trying to find out if she's interested back. She tells you she's not interested. Okay, you know you're a decent human being. You just walk away and you keep it moving. But that can be interpreted as harassment.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
exactly.
What kind of shit is that?
I mean, it's disgusting the way some of these things are being handled. Listen, for example, what about the hypocrisy too of a girl like what's her name, Argento? You know, the Asia Argento. She's the daughter of the famous film director Dario Argento, and she was accusing Harvey Weinstein of sexual harassment and all that. Then it turns out that she was grooming a young boy since he was 10 years old and then fucked him when he was 17. So, listen, let's fucking look at the facts. Let's hear everybody's side of the story, and then we can try to see and make up our mind. Okay, Cameron, what the fuck are you laughing about?
Yo, Cameron, what the fuck are you laughing about?
Sorry,
he's laughing about rape.
I'm just reading the chat. Someone go, Nino Gaggy went, what did Ortiz do, Victor or Lewis? Quags went Victor. Then Overhand went Vic. Old man Ortiz can't get up. Then the Shepherd of Sons went, Lewis Ortiz can barely move at his age.
Well, it actually reminds me of Ike Biabuchi. Remember the big what if he would have fought Lennox Lewis? This guy was 6'1" or 6'2", 250 pounds. He was a monster, and he broke into a woman's house and tried to rape her. I think he did rape her. I mean, Jesus, that guy, talk about the worst rapist you could ever encounter.
But I thought, you know what I thought, that I thought I heard that he raped an escort. That's what I don't know.
Oh, well, that doesn't count.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess. No?
Yeah, that's fine. And by the way, listen, whether he did it, whether he did it or not, whether Ibiabuchi did it or not. Well, exactly.
You didn't pay her. You didn't pay her.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta ask questions first.
You tell her to come over, and she's like, yeah, $500 or whatever the fuck it is, and he's like, nah, I don't got no money. But you're still gonna take it in the ass.
Okay, why is it gonna be in the ass, man?
Respect the cock.
All right, listen, this is getting out of hand here. All right, number one, number two. Again, like I said, let's wait and see what happens with fucking Victor Ortiz. And by the way, Cameron, did you notice we said rape, and every time we say rape, Cameron is laughing. Like he finds nothing funnier than rape. That's really disgusting.
No, I'm laughing about stuff in the
Shut
chat,
up.
Man.
No, you're not. You're laughing at rape.
There's nothing funny about rape unless I'm doing it, obviously.
Oh, all right. Listen, we're gonna get shut down. Let's get back to boxing here.
Okay.
Let's get back to boxing for a little bit here. All right. So Victor Ortiz is going to jail. Might be going to jail. And Bucho's obsessed with the fucking OJ trial, talking about Richard Shapiro. Stephen Schneider says, "Here's a couple of bucks for you to pay hookers."
Oh,
$5 is going to get. Oh, we're going to spread that money out for all of us to get hookers. Jesus Christ, it's going to be quite cheap and tight.
$1 per pump. We each get a pump. That's what we do.
Adonis Stevenson might be able to give us a few fucking contacts anyway.
Jeez.
Oh,
did you? Oh yeah, man. Did you ever read that article from the local press here in Canada? Oof, that was rough, man.
Yeah.
That was
underage,
rough.
right? Were they pimping underage girls?
That's right.
Yeah,
but that's confirmed, right? Like he because I've heard people say it. I've never read it, so
yeah, it's confirmed, man. Yeah.
Oh, so
they beat these girls and shit.
But before I hit the road, I need my cock sucked.
I'll say, I've never had so much cock in my life.
Oh my god, what the fuck, man?
That's what I don't know.
Let's just stay calm here!
I can't respect a girl like that, man. In my opinion, she shouldn't even be in boxing, but fuck it.
Anyway, listen, I think we're gonna lose our audience if we keep talking about rape. There's nothing that shuts off entertainment more than rape. So let's not talk about rape, and let's stop saying the word rape. All right, rape. let's see what people in the chat room are saying. The Fox Strike says Lewis was the best heavyweight of the 90s and one of the best heavyweights of all time, probably top 3. Nino Gadget says Lewis was a beast. Yeah, I think we can all agree with that. Overhand says, don't piss off Adonis or he'll pimp slap you. Steven Schneider says, Adonis is like a rookie pimp. Yeah, you are a rookie pimp if you get caught. Come on. You got to keep your eyes wide open over there and your ears open as well. John Koo says, yeah, he did it in France, spent years in prison for... Like, what were you talking about, Stevenson? Because he wasn't living in France. He was living in Quebec. Unless you're talking about Bucho. Anyway, listen.
Well, I mean, Quebec is the same thing as France, but go ahead.
Wait a minute. Now, hold on a second here. What are you talking about?
Do a little shot at you guys, that's all.
Yeah, a little shot. Come on. What are you doing?
Just a little bit. I'm sorry.
Little bit. Let's have a drink.
Yeah, I'm not wrong, but I'm sorry.
Come on, man. You gotta...
What do you got me on a fucking pay no mind list, kid?
What were you gonna say, Cameron?
Nino Gaggy in the chat says, bro, if you're mid-20s and you can't tell the difference between a 15-year-old and a bar-age chick, you have a problem, period. I agree with that. But
well,
then again, you know what, right? Nowadays, and you see a lot of these blokes, like, a lot of these blokes get into trouble because they're going for girls who are about 15 but look about 20. And you see it in the news all the time, don't you, about how these blokes and these girls get into nightclubs and the blokes pumping them in the nightclub and they find that they're 15 but they sort of get away with it because they look 20 and stuff like that. So you can't really tell nowadays, in my opinion.
I think in the US, so everybody out there in the US, watch out. If you sleep with a girl and she lies to you and she says, oh, she's 18, I'm 18, but she's actually 15, even if she lied to you and you believed her, like, you are in trouble. Jail. Yeah, you're still going to jail. Like, so you see, there's no responsibility from the female side, but for the male, it's all the responsibility falls on the male. So watch out, guys.
That's why you make sure, but always check up, man. Like, I'm 22 now. I always go for the 2-year age gap, so I wouldn't go below 20. So when I get 23, I won't go below 21. That's just the way I operate on it. But you gotta be careful out there, man.
I mean, I'm only kidding with you. We're having a party. I mean, I just came home. I haven't seen you in a long time, and I'm breaking your balls, and you're right away you're getting fucking fresh.
That's
what does that sound? That sounds like Jimmy, doesn't it?
that voice that's a classic voice, boy.
Yeah, come on, that's a classic, man.
I'm just breaking your balls a little bit. All right?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you. I'm sorry. It's okay, no problem. Okay, salute. Teach this kid a little fucking manners.
Sorry, what?
The Quag says, if a chick looks 20 and she's probably 15, good rule of thumb.
All right, listen. We'll save that for another episode. I want to get back. Cameron, we haven't even asked you about this Callum Smith versus Groves fight, because in the beginning of the show we asked the question: why isn't this fight getting more traction? And maybe it doesn't deserve to get more traction. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this fight? Entertaining fight?
Yeah, a really good fight. I think Groves knocked Smith out. Pretty confident about that. I
hope so.
I've never been impressed with Callum Smith. Like, you know, he looked good when he fought Fielding, but that's the last time he looked good. You know, we spoke about it last night, or I think we spoke it on another show, maybe. I'm not too sure, but a while back. But you know, Smith looked pretty. Recognises back in 9/11. Smith was getting his head jabbed off by Scopeland at will when they fought, and he struggled with. I don't know if anybody else watched it, but when Belly fought McAvoy in the undercard, Smith fought this absolute waste man, and you know, we're talking about a former welterweight, and you know, he's a welterweight, but he fought Smith at super middleweight, and Smith couldn't get him out of there. Like, it took him about 9 rounds. And he didn't look good at all. So I just think he's quite basic defensively. I think offensively he's good, but he lacks a lot of defensive responsibility. And I feel like Groves is just going to have a real sort of easy time of landing that jab at will, which will set up the right hand. And I think he'll land something that will put Smith over. I actually think Groves has looked pretty good under Shane McGuigan. You know, I know a lot of people still say he's not the same fighter he was, but you know, he's still a top fighter. I feel like he's much better than Callum Smith as an overall fighter. So it's a good fight. I don't think the fact it's not in the UK for me is a big negative on why it's not getting the attraction, because if it was in the UK, you know, I think it'd be a lot more attention on it, but it's not being promoted over here because of the fact it's in Saudi Arabia. So I think that's kind of why it's not getting sort of the attraction it should be. But it's a good fight. You know, if you're a hardcore boxing fan, you're going to watch it, aren't you? So
absolutely, yeah. And by the way, so you're the only one right now here saying that Callum Smith is way out of his depth in terms of class.
I don't think he's way out of his depth. I just think Groves is just that much better in pretty much every fit. I mean, you know, Smith is a big super middleweight, but Groves is a big super middleweight as well. So there's not much in terms of like size advantage for Smith. I know there's a bit of height there, but you know, Smith, for all these sort of size advantages and things like that, he's not that great technically. So for me, I think Groves is faster, more experience. I think he punches harder, to be honest with you, Groves, because he's proven at, you know, top level that he can punch harder. So for me, I just feel like Groves, you know, he'll get in there, and I think he'll create openings, and Smith will struggle, and Groves will get him out there at some point.
All right, so there you have it. You know what? We're gonna get to predictions in a while, but so there you have. He thinks that he's on the record, by the way, saying that George Groves is gonna stop Callum Smith, and he's also on the record saying that he doesn't think that this fight should take place in front of a bunch of smelly foreigners. That's what Cameron said, not me. All right, so
I mean, I didn't say it word for word, but okay.
Yeah, well, we'll go with it.
You said it.
Yeah, we got witnesses. See, Recognize gonna back me up on this one.
What do you want me to say? It was a great shot.
Great shot.
So anybody out there that's from Saudi Arabia listening to the chat, disclaimer, I've got a lot of credit, I've got a lot of respect for your country.
Nah, they're too busy. They're not listening to the show. They're too busy shooting golden AK-47s or gold-plated AK-47s or driving 200 miles an hour in those highways that have no speed limit. Listen, Bucho.
Another thing on Smith. Just want to say something on Smith quickly, just to finish. Another thing on Smith. Like, I've never seen him. When he stepped up in levels, like we're talking about, he's only fought European sort of level guys. He looked great at British level when he fought Fielding and he fought guys like that. So when he stepped up to this European level against the likes of Skokland and things like that, he was struggling. Like Skokland, even though he got beat, he was landing that jab, and Smith wasn't moving his head at all. He's got no head movement. You know, he fought that kickbox. I wasn't impressed with him there. I know it was late notice and things, but I wasn't impressed with him there. He's still not got a signature win. Whereas, you know, Groves has proven that even his losses, you know, when he lost to Froch, he gave Froch hell. You know, the rematch, he was giving him a hell for about 6 rounds. Then the rematch was a close fight as well. You know, he gave Jack a close fight. You know, Groves, and he beat the Gal. I know it was before, but Groves is a lot more proven. You know, he's probably the most proven super middleweight out there, in my opinion. So, for me, I just don't see what Smith can do. I mean, he might rise to the occasion. You know, like somebody says in the chat, he might, but I just don't see anything in Callum Smith that actually, for me, makes me think this guy is a legitimate world-level operator.
Well, that's a good point.
Been more interesting for me if Smith would have fought Bramer.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point as well.
He would have won.
Yeah, I think that was the fight that ruined the whole tournament for me. Once Bramer pulled out, the tournament was done.
And he got injured, right? That was the whole thing with Bramer.
No, he got ill. He got ill.
He got ill. Okay, yeah.
That's sick, didn't he?
So basically, yeah. So I mean that's the fight for me that, like you said, Stu, it ruined it, because had he, you know, if he was going into this final, with him beating Bramer and Groves coming off a win against Eubank, the fight is a lot more intriguing. And like, I don't understand this whole Saudi Arabia thing. I didn't even know they were into boxing like that, but
I think
the fight could have been
that one of the finals in Saudi Arabia, and I think they wanted to put Gassi of Usyk, didn't they? But I think more money came from Russia for that one. So
yeah, the Russians had another plan.
Yeah, definitely.
What Stu said's right. They basically had to put it in Saudi Arabia because I think they had rights to one of the finals, or obviously they had rights to the Usyk Gassi final. That got shifted, so they got that one.
And the thing is, Callum Smith, although he's with Eddie Hearn, he waves off Eddie Hearn when he signed up for this tournament, because Eddie Hearn doesn't really have a say in it. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't have a say in the promotion, the production, where it is. So that's the thing about signing for these tournaments. You sort of like wave your promoters' rights away.
That's what I'm saying. If this was if this was promoted by Hearn and in the UK, we'd be getting a lot more traction.
Of course it would.
Gentlemen,
how many tickets has this fight even sold over there? Does anybody not? I mean, I know no fans are going to be there. I mean, it's all going to be politicians and things, but come on now. I mean, who's going to watch this fight over there?
I don't know. Maybe just some boxing fans that we don't know about in Saudi Arabia, but just seems weird. When I heard about it with Usyk and Gassiev, and I was like, maybe Gassiev has a following. I don't know. He looks a little bit, like he's got some Semitic blood in him, but
makes me laugh though, because Amir Khan. I mean, he keeps talking about Saudi Arabia, and look at the money the Arabs have got. Yet they're not putting no money up to put Khan fights on over there, are they? Not once.
Well, they tried. They did. They tried though. That's what I heard.
Because he's a Persian with a weak chin, they don't like him.
Yeah, no, but they actually did offer him. There was rumors at some point. Yeah, there were some rumors that he was going to fight in Dubai or something. Remember? Remember Khan Pacquiao. There was rumors that he was going to take place in Dubai. That was a long time ago.
If that fight ever happens, I can see that happening in Dubai. Khan and Pacquiao.
Yeah, obviously because Pacquiao is a big name, right? But this fight doesn't make sense at all. Like, no sense at all. I don't know what Saudi Arabia is trying to do. Like, to show to the world that they can host a boxing event. I mean, I don't get it.
Well, skyscrapers in the world, yeah, it's half empty.
Don't they have one in Dubai that's maybe I'm exaggerating in terms of the height. It's 2,700 feet.
Yeah, like I said, it's half empty.
Fuck, 2,700 feet.
Yeah,
they have the tallest one in the world, I think. Yeah, but anyways, are you guys still there or what the hell?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think let's just give our prediction.
Bucho got knocked off the call. Is anyone else there or not?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Bucho got knocked off the call.
I wasn't sure if it was my signal playing it when he.
No.
It was Bucho, by the way.
He got kicked off the show.
He got kicked. What?
He got taken off the call. We know ourselves. He's back now.
Yeah, he's back.
I don't know
now.
what happened.
You don't know what happened. Maybe you should start figuring out what's happening here instead of sitting around with your thumb up your ass. You think I'm gonna have this?
I can't have it. I can't have it. You know, I can't do it, Henry. You know,
I was surprised. I didn't realise you guys were doing the show right now because when we were on last night, Bucho says it's been quite late for us UK guys, like midnight or so.
Yeah, then I thought it was gonna Jesus Christ.
My God.
Yeah, Sundays is the late show due to Mr.BDA's schedule. So Sunday is the 7 p.m. That's
12 p.m. our time.
12 p.m. UK, but the rest of the time is usually this time. So,
and by the way, we do have to point out that this show is half BDA, half Bucho. All right, so it's not just some people are saying, "Whoa, what's going on with Mr.BDA?" Forget about Mr.BDA. This is about Bucho. This is about Mr.BDA and all the panelists. You know what I mean? Like, the train doesn't stop just because I'm not here. It keeps on going. You guys keep on moving it. You keep it going. So. That's all I want to say about that. I see. I think he's back to inflating his sex doll, so I think he'll be back. Who else dropped that? Somebody else dropped that? No. And by the way, I'm doing the show naked. I'm doing the show naked right now because I've seen other people doing it. Yeah, I've seen other people doing podcasts naked, so I decided why not try it? And it's quite. It's quite liberating.
That place is set trend.
yeah, I'm telling you.
You have a towel or something?
No,
not even a towel.
I almost did the other day actually. Like when I was doing a podcast the other day, I thought, "Fuck, I might just get naked on cam." Didn't happen, obviously, but.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Do a bit of a low place. It inspired me a bit. To be fair, you know what I mean. You got to be quite comfortable in your own skin to do that. So. That's
right. And why shouldn't you be? There's a lot of people that I've known in my time, especially when I used to perform back in LA. People didn't have that hang up of being naked. And I would always hear it. Some people would say, listen, I was born naked and I'm going to die naked. So that's one way of going about it. Look, we're talking about this fucking Callum Smith. Were you still talking about it, by the way? Callum Smith versus Groves?
I don't know. Have you guys already spoke about it before I came on?
Well, we were talking a little bit about it. My thing is this super middleweight division, provided things go well and everybody fights each other, it's a pretty good division.
Especially with the return of Sergio Martinez, yeah.
Especially with the what?
With the return of Sergio Martinez.
You're kidding.
Well, he's fighting Chavez at 68, isn't he? So.
What?
Have you not heard that? It's official.
No.
The hell?
Bucho.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I think Cameron's making things up this today.
No. It's dead. It's seriously happening. Bucho, back me up.
Absolutely fucking true. What the hell, man? Where have you been, man?
Have you not been following it? Sergio Martinez and Chavez are fighting on November 17th.
But wait a minute. Apparently. I thought Martinez was crippled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he said he's basically said that his knees are 100% healed and he's ready to come back.
Of course.
Bull fucking shit.
Well, he needs to solve the fight. I mean, what is he gonna say? My legs are fucking shot and everything. Come on.
Bullshit.
I don't agree with this, man. I don't think this fight. First of all, at 168, can Chavez even make 168?
Well, he made 164 for Canelo, didn't he? So.
Yeah, but that was.
He looks shredded though. Like, me and Bucho spoke about on the show yesterday. He looks quite shredded at the minute. He looks in good shape, Chavez.
Yeah, I showed you a picture. No, BDA.
He looks like the Hulk. He's got the green filter on it.
Yeah.
Well, I remember. Yeah, I saw that you have the picture in your bedroom, right?
Oh, of course.
There you go.
It's sad, isn't it? Because Martinez whooped Chavez in his last fight of his prime, and he's going to come back and he's going to lose to somebody and probably get knocked out by a guy who he whooped before. It's quite sad, isn't it?
Well, it depends by what you mean by sad. I mean,
I'm a fan of Martinez. That's what I'm saying. So for me, I'll be, you know, I mean, I hated when I was watching the Cotto fight, I hated it. The way that Cotto was knocking him around the ring like a pinball machine that first round. He was just knocking him down at will. I thought it was quite sad because I thought, if Cotto fought the Martinez of 2010, that wouldn't have happened. So.
Right. Well, we all know you like.
If Martinez started boxing at a young age, like a very young age, he would have been one of the greatest fighters of all time, in my opinion.
Well, he's got some of the greatest pin-up photos of all time, as you can see right there on the screen. Very, very tasteful pictures.
Fuck's sake.
I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on there. I hope he
buy
doesn't...
that picture on Amazon. What the fuck?
Yeah, you can. That's the worst. You can buy that. Who's gonna fucking buy that, man? Fucking Orlando Cruz? My God. All right, listen.
That's bad. I might have to check that out, actually.
No, believe me, you don't. All right, so you guys caught me off guard with this fucking Sergio Martinez Chavez rematch. Which network's gonna air this piece of crap?
Apparently, the Zone. Apparently, Hearn might be interested in promoting this.
All right, Bucho. Now I'm convinced we have to get the Zone.
Yeah,
I'll pay for that shit right now just for that fight.
I have the Zone, man. It's not my account, but yeah.
The winner of Martinez Chavez Jr. will probably get a title shot as well. That's how bad it is.
Hey, it's interesting. Bucho asked if Chris Eubank was the Chavez of the 168-pound division. I would say that Chavez is the Zab Judah of the higher weight divisions, because this guy keeps getting chances. I mean, listen, I know the Martinez fight isn't really a chance. It's just a clown fight, really. But it's still a relatively big event for Buck. I mean, I don't know. How many people do you think are gonna fucking watch that shit?
It'll do it for sure, I think.
Okay.
I'll watch it.
Oh, come on. By the way, okay, who wins? Seriously, who wins that fight? A cripple who hasn't fought in over 3 years? Or 4, actually? Or Chavez Jr., fatso?
Nah, if he's in shape, I think he stops Martinez, just because Martinez is old and has no legs.
I really want to say Martinez because I'm just such a fanboy of his. But nah, you got to go with Chavez, ain't you?
Didn't you get the haircut based on Sergio Martinez?
Yeah, that's a rumor going around.
That's the rumor.
Did you take some naked pics just to act, to be like Sergio Martinez, in his honor?
Well, I'm a super casual, so it's kind of a super casual thing to do. Yeah, I mean, when you're a fanboy, super casual, you do that sort of thing, don't you?
Well, I mean,
yeah,
you got to do that. Listen.
Hey, by the way, Mr. BDA, Cameron and Azzy kind of worked it out, and nothing happened. You know,
fuck.
They're friends.
Yeah, we kind of like weirdly, in a very bizarre way, kind of agreed with each other in the chat in the last show. So yeah.
Well, I could sense. I think everybody could sense the sexual tension between you two, and so I'm surprised that it was actually all squashed. But we need to get boxing style back to bust your balls a little bit, just to create a little. You know what? Who else? Yeah, well, I mean, he's just busting your balls. I wanted to say, I remember when Sergio Martinez was gonna fight Chavez Jr. I think it was Ellie Sackback had a video. He was interviewing Lisa Ann, the porn star, and I think it was Ellie Sackback, but she's a boxing fan, and she said that she wanted to. Well, she didn't say that, but the title of the video was Lisa Ann is a boxing fan, wants to fuck Sergio Martinez. And I watched the whole video. She never said she wanted to fuck Sergio Martinez. So I don't know why they put that in the title. Also,
I've got him on Facebook, Martinez.
Hey, listen.
I'm up for an interview, but can't get hold of him right now.
I've told you motherfuckers out there, or be the people in the chat room, get the word out. I want to have Nate Campbell on the fucking show. All right, I want to interview him, and I haven't seen anything move. We reached out to him on Twitter. I don't think the guy's on Twitter all that much. I know he has a Facebook page. Come on, guys, give us a little boost here. Let's try to get Nate Campbell on the show. And by the way,
I'll try and do it, man. I reckon I could get hold of him.
Well, there you go. Thanks, Cameron. Take a break from watching Sergio Martinez's pictures, and you know what? There was actually another.
Are you winding me up, or do you actually want me to do it?
No, yeah, sure.
Do you actually want him on the show? Yeah?
Nate Campbell or Sergio Martinez?
Nate Campbell.
Yeah, Nate Campbell, yeah. I want him on the show. Ah, crikey. All right. There's also another porn star. What's her name? She's a MILF, and she's a boxing fan, too. I forget her name. She's a blonde MILF. She does a whole... she does it all, like lesbian, straight, threesomes. I think she does DPs as well. Anyway... Enough about porn stars. Jesus. All right, so let's get some predictions here. By the way, did Recognize ever answer back, or? Nah, he's still gone.
No, I didn't see anything, man. He's gone, man.
I like how he says, "Oh, it's the air conditioning in my office." He's not in an office. He's in a fucking.
No, he said his office is his car. Yesterday, he said my office is my car. So.
Oh, okay. I thought his office were the streets, the tough streets of New York.
Well, technically.
All right, let's get some predictions here. We already got Cameron's prediction for this Saturday's fight. He says Callum Smith's going to get blown out. Anything else you want to add, Cameron, about that?
No, George Groves, 9th round stoppage, I think.
9th round stoppage. All right, Bucho, can you take that down, please?
Yep.
Fantastic. So Cameron is going with a 9th round stoppage for George Groves. Stu, are you there? No, I think he's watching the Fight Scout. All right, he's there. Prediction times 2. What you got?
Well, it's a tough one for me. I don't think it's as lopsided as a lot of people think in the chat. I'm going to go with the George Groves points decision.
George Groves points decision.
I've not really seen Callum Smith hurt. I think he's got a decent chin. He can hold a shot.
All right.
He's going to get hit. So that's the big major question for me. Will he hold this shot? I think he can. So I'm going to go for a points win, George Groves.
All right. Very good. Bucho, I know you're
I'm going for the opposite. I'm going Callum Smith by decision.
Okay, why the fuck do you always have to be the contrarian? Why do you always got, I smell upset, I smell upset. You smell shit.
Telling you, man, that guy's like 6'3", has a decent uppercut. He's way faster than Groves. Groves is only waiting to counter. I don't know, man. Listen, it's a close fight, but I'm going for the upset, man. I'm going for Smith by decision.
You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy, but I don't fucking cut it when you're bullshitting and fucking around like this.
Yeah, all right. All right, so that's your prediction. I can...
Yeah? Same prediction.
What'd you say, Cameron? I couldn't hear you.
I said, no, sorry, bro. I was just saying, we ever had a podcast where all of us have had the same pick, and picked the same winner of the fight?
Probably Joshua. The Joshua fight. That's why we didn't even do it, because everybody was gonna pick Joshua, right? So.
Joshua Park, you're on about? I'll take it.
No, Joshua Povetkin.
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
All right. So
BDA, your turn. You have to give us your prediction.
I'm going with Callum Smith by stoppage. No, I'm kidding. You know what? I'm actually inclined to go with the masses. I think George Groves is just too skilled. I think he's got the better resume. I'm not saying it's gonna be an easy fight because, like you said, Bucho, that height and reach, especially Callum Smith, he knows this is his biggest fight at this point. This is his big break, and I think he's gonna show up in shape. And like, who was it? Stu said that George Groves doesn't have the best gas tank, and you never know, man. I mean, maybe this fight shows his age. I know he's just 30, but like I said, he's been through the ringer a little bit. So I'm still gonna go with George Groves. I'm going with Groves. Decision.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's I wanted to recognize his prediction, but he's gone. So we'll have to leave that for, I don't know, Bucho, you think you're gonna do a show before the fight or after the fight?
I was thinking of doing a second Renaissance on Friday.
Second Renaissance on Friday.
So, and I'm gonna do a show post-fight on Saturday. So I don't think there's gonna be another show.
What about on Sunday?
Yeah, but that's after the fight, man. Whoa.
Yeah, but you just said I'm gonna do one after the fight, so I'm saying Saturday after the fight or Sunday.
Oh well, we can do both. You're gonna be on Sunday, right?
Excuse me. Well, you never know.
All right.
Let's hold on a second. Before we go, we also have to give people a little bit of a preview of what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. Don't forget, this Friday, Jose Uzcategui is going to be fighting on ESPN Plus against Ezekiel Maderna. I think he's some Argentinian guy. We also have the Filipino sensation Jerwin Ancajas taking on Alejandro Santiago. Again, Ancajas, I want to see him start fighting some better opposition because right now he's outboxing all his fellow Filipinos and short Mexicans. And I don't think that's...
It's about time he had a test, man.
Yeah, he's hardly had a test. I mean, who did he...
No.
Was that?
I know, I'm kind of getting bored of watching his fights because I think he's a really good fighter, but I want to see him against a top guy.
That's what I always tell people. I say, listen, when you have a good fighter, it gets tiresome to watch them beating up on guys who you know have no shot of beating them. And that's the same thing with Ancajas. They're talking about him against Donny Nietes, but seeing how Nietes is fighting on HBO right now, and Ancajas is with ESPN, I don't know. Kind of seems difficult to do. Well, listen, hopefully they can make something happen. Hopefully they can make it happen. Anyway, that's the fight on Friday. And then, of course, on Saturday we have Groves versus Callum Smith. Chris Eubank fighting some Irish guy. Sorry, but that's the fight pretty much.
He's fighting Jimmy McFly. McFlurry, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Jimmy McFly. JJ McDonough. Jimmy McFly. Who the fuck is Jimmy McFly? That's gonna be our go-to name. That's gonna be our go-to name when we see a fighter and we don't know his name. We're just gonna go, oh, you know, he's fighting a fucking Jimmy McFly. That's a good name, Jimmy McFly. Don't forget, also on Saturday via Facebook Watch, pretty little decent fight between Jorge Linares and Abner Cotto. Cotto is, what is he? Cotto's cousin, right? He's Miguel Cotto's cousin, I think.
Is that actually on Facebook? Is that fight being shown on Facebook?
Yes.
That's how bad that fight is, isn't it?
What do you mean bad?
Well, it's a bad fight, isn't it? Like, Linares is going to win hot-handedly, isn't he?
Oh, yes. You know what? Sorry. People are correcting me. Overhand is saying BDA Boxing, I think Grove Smith is on Friday. Yeah, it is on Friday. I think
it's Friday.
With the time difference, I don't exactly... I'm all fucked up with the time difference. But yeah, it says here on ESPN it's scheduled for the 28th. So that's a Friday. On Saturday, we got Linares versus Abner Cotto. And by the way, when we did a little preview video for Canelo versus Triple G, and I made a mistake with the date there, and I said that they were going to be fighting on the 15th, I think I said, instead of the 16th. And one guy in the comment section goes, he made a mistake from the beginning. I'm not watching the video. I'm like, all right, don't watch the fucking video. What do you, I mean, because I got the date wrong. Come on. Give me a little break here. September the 30th, we're not going to be seeing Victor Ortiz versus John Molina Jr. because of Victor Ortiz's, shenanigans. He had some, he's getting into a little bit of trouble. Just a little bit of trouble. October the 6th. What was that?
Was it just a bit?
Well, man, he might get away from it scot-free. You never know. From Chicago, Jesse Vargas takes on Thomas Delorme. Oh, yeah, that's the zone card. It doesn't look all that great. Jesse Vargas versus Delorme, Beterbiev versus Callum Johnson, and Danny Roman versus Gavin McDonnell. Oh, and of course, Gerald Baby Miller against Thomas Adamek.
Oh, great fight.
I sense a little sarcasm there, Cameron. I don't know. I think it's just me.
Yes. It's a step back for Miller.
Yeah, it is. But then again, this is a guy that eats like a pig, so I don't think he cares all that much.
Yeah.
October the 7th, Naya Inoue takes on Juan Carlos Payano. Kirill Relik takes on Edward Troyanovsky. Yeah, for the both two fights for the WBSS tournament, but in different divisions, of course. Ken Shiro takes on Milan Melindo. So those are some of the fights you can look forward to. Terence Crawford, October the 13th against Benavides Jr. Zolani Tete versus Mikhail Aloyan. Anyway, a bunch of good little cards coming up. Who was it that said... Oh, yeah, what was the fight that happened this past weekend, I think? Between Taguchi?
Joshua,
no, the Japanese fight, Taguchi versus...
no, you want about Tanaka. You want about Tanaka? He become a freeweight world champion in his 12th fight.
But that was like... Some people are saying that the fight of the year, right?
Yeah. Tanaka against... what was the name?
Kimura. In the chat, it says Junku Chang is better than Finito Lopez. Says Tanaka versus Kimura.
That's it. Yeah, Kimura.
Yeah, I gotta watch
Tanaka
that
won. He's only 23, and he freeweight world champion in his 12th fight. So he equaled Lomachenko, but he done it at 23. So he's minimum weight, flyweight, strawweight, I believe. No. Minimum weight, flyweight, junior flyweight. I'm not too sure.
I gotta watch that fight, man. Most people don't give a lot of much attention to the lower weights. Listen, before we go, Bucho, is it me? Because I'm reading the Twitter page here, the BDA Boxing Twitter page. Check it out, guys. Haymanites, shout out to Haymanites, who makes some very good photoshops. He doesn't seem to like El Dude all that much, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people in the chat that kind of don't exactly like El Dude.
I gotta tell you, man, we've been through this before. It always starts with a couple of people complaining. Then before you know it, we're being asked to exile somebody. I don't like the way this is going, I gotta tell you.
Well, we didn't exile El Dude, by the way. So
we what?
We didn't exile him. I mean, we didn't do... There's only been 3 people who have been exiled.
I know, but what I'm saying is that we've seen this before. Like, this is the pattern. People start complaining, talking about how one guy has a divergent opinion than everybody else. Before you know it, we start hearing, hey, why you still have him on the show? Well, let's see what happens. Let's see how the situation plays out. Boxing Known says BDA Boxing, a.k.a. Klitschko. What do you mean, a.k.a. Klitschko? Stack those bananas says, how long has this been going on, fellas? About an hour and a half. Well, yeah, we're gonna end it now, because we pretty much covered the Callum Smith versus George Groves fight, and we also got people's predictions. Vader D asks...
Vader in the chat says, boxing style gets exiled. Oh,
no.
I hope so.
No, he didn't get exiled. And by the way, he's the one that stops coming. He shows up for about 3 days, and then all of a sudden he disappears for another month, and then he comes back another 3 episodes, you know, letting us hear...
Hopefully that 1 month disappearance becomes a year.
Oh. Cameron gets into fights with everybody.
Yeah.
Nah, Joe... yeah, but me and the guys always make up in the end. No, me and besides that little thing, we get on well now. Always make up in the end.
You always have him on your podcast afterwards.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The fuck? What?
The fuck was that?
Yeah, we couldn't hear you, man. Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Basically, I have everybody on my podcast, man.
John Ku Chang says maybe Cameron should be exiled.
Interesting.
Who said that? Who said that? Anyway,
John Ku Chang. John Ku Chang.
He's better than Finito Lopez. Maybe Cameron should be exiled. There's no reason to exile me, man.
Maybe we should do a vote and see.
Yeah, do you know what? Everyone would vote me out just for the banter, though. So
yeah, that's I suspect that's what would happen. Well, listen, I mean, it's a pretty rare occurrence when we do exile somebody. It's interesting when we start, like I said before, when we started this show, we had this crazy idea that we're gonna let everybody say whatever the fuck they wanted. That's not possible, man. Because there's some people out there that come up with some real outlandish theories. Now, what I like about old dude is, yeah, he comes up with some weird opinions, but at least he's not always interrupting. Sometimes he does come in a little bit too hyper, and he starts walking over people.
Though, we haven't seen Jimmy since what happened with him and Jimmy the other day, though.
Yeah, that's
true.
Like, he basically ran Jimmy off the show from what I've seen.
Well, let's hope that's not the case. I haven't talked to Jimmy since that. I wasn't even there.
Oh, I have. I spoke to him.
You spoke to Jimmy?
Yeah, a few days ago, yeah.
And he said he gave you the impression that that's why he's no longer showing up?
No.
He sent us a message, BDA. If you check Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't check Twitter. You know that.
He probably sent you the same one he kind of sent me.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think I did hear about that through Bucho. Anyway, listen, guys, thanks for showing up. We got everything covered here for the George Groves Smith fight, which is taking place on Friday and not on Saturday, as I kept saying since the beginning of the show. So if anybody's been listening to the show since the beginning, forget about fucking Saturday. It's on Friday. Saturday we got Linares versus Abner Cotto. All right. So Overhand says BDA realized open borders don't work. Yeah, exactly. Essentially, that's pretty much it.
I was just reading that.
Yeah, essentially that's pretty much it, man. We want to create this utopia.
Makes me laugh every time, man. I'm always reading the chat because it's just always hilarious.
Well, we always try to read the chat, but when we have 7-8 people on board and everybody's talking, it's kind of hard to just stop everything and say, "Hey, let's read what the people in the chat room are saying." But yeah, I try to read the chat.
I love interacting with the chat, man. There's some good people in the chat.
I say it's the best chat on YouTube. No doubt about it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the funniest.
It is the funnest, man. I don't know if that's an actual word, but we'll go with it. Guys, thanks for joining us. We got the predictions. We'll be back probably on Friday with a second Renaissance. Saturday, of course, Bucho's going to be here, and he's going to be covering the Groves versus Smith fight, the aftermath. So stick around for that one. Don't forget to check us out via iTunes, Spreaker. Don't forget to check out our Twitter page. Bucho, you want to give a shout out to the Patreon subscribers and the Steven Schneider as well. Shout out to Steven Schneider for his contribution today. Bucho, you want to take over with the...
Yeah, sure. Thank you to all Patreon supporters, Apology Man, Brandon White, Chris Gonzalez, Greg, Carl, Pete Stamas, and The Punisher. And who are the recent super chatters? Kyle G. Boogie, Steven Schneider, as always, John Gonzalez, Aquags, Michael Polanco, See Me, the Mr. Coxey, Foul Boxing, Michael Stock. I feel like I'm missing somebody new. Asian Undercover. Thank you, guys. By the way, Friday I might do a second Renaissance. It's not certain, but I will let you know.
Well, there you go.
There's a few people interested in doing one of them, though, so...
Yeah, it's been a while.
A few of us are interested in doing it.
Yeah,
let's not talk about ghosts. Otherwise, for some reason, the fucking stream is gonna disappear. Like
I'm quite happy that Lost Show did go because I spoke about quite a lot of personal stuff on that.
Ah, come on. People are interested in that. People are interested.
Yeah, in hindsight, yeah. I mean, it's a while ago now. I wouldn't be annoyed about it now, but at the time I was thinking, God, man, should I have said some of that stuff? But that's all good.
It was a great episode. But anyway, listen. We make up for it with other great episodes. So thanks again, Cameron, for showing up. I want to thank Recognize the Matrix as well. And Stu, thanks for giving us your predictions. We're gonna keep an eye on them after the fight. And remember, if you get a wrong prediction, we shave some points off of you. And if you keep getting them wrong, you're out of the show. Alright. I want to thank also people in the chat room. Overhand, Jonathan Williams, Boxing Known. Overhand, Rotty Davies, The Quags. Jungkook Chang is better than Finito Lopez. Fight Scout, Uncle Burnt Apostrophe, Vader D, Stack Those Bananas. Nino Gadji, Rasclot 222. I think Brandon White was in there as well. The Fox Strikes. Chris Gonzalez was in there as well. Steven Schneider. And many more. You guys know who you are. Thanks for joining us. You guys are what make this show, in my opinion, the best show, boxing show at least, on YouTube. The Quack says El Dude and Low Place should start to be permanently blackballed. Both are rude and have no class. Now, come on. Both guys, they're very opinionated. What do you want?
Emotional.
Emotional? Well, that's another word. Guys, thanks for being on. We'll see you on the next one, folks. Take care.